What's up, everyone? Welcome to the long awaited episode 11 of the State of Hockey podcast. We've got a lot for you guys today. Double digit plus game recaps. We're going to wrap this thing up. We've got another very exciting episode with our playoffs and award winners coming in. Actually, the award winners that we're going to do in this one. So we'll do
Most of them.
we'll do the recaps, all the regular season award winners. This will be good. This will be good. We've got a good stretch of games here for everyone today. First up is not a great game. It's the Tampa Bay Lightning 6-3 loss. This was a close game. Don't let the score fool you. It was 3-3 late in the third. I forget who dumps it in, but Philip Gustafsson mismanages it and they score. Totally kills us. The third period was super dead anyways. They go pull ahead 4-3, two empty netters, we lose.
Yeah, I would like to say I think my 4-2 win prediction was more accurate than it looked like. Because we did have an early lead. We had a couple early leads. We were up like 2-0 and then 3-1. Like you said, blunder Gus, unfortunate. That was kind of the start. There's like a little downward trend with Gus we'll see throughout this recap, and I think this game is kind of what started it off. But not too much here. Great game otherwise up until the third, and then, kind of fell apart. Couldn't get it back after that.
It was nice from our engine room. You could see there for the hockey stat cards. But yeah, Quinn Hughes did break the record for most points in a season for us in this game. 53, I believe, is what he finished the year on for us. Pretty nice. I remember in our first episode, we were looking at that when talking about Brock Faber. Like, holy shit. He's like, the fact that we have had like one 50-point defenseman ever is really shitty. Too, you can see there, but yeah. Zuccarello scored from Hughes and Boldy. Faber scored from Tarasenko and Brink, and Tarasenko scored from Johansson and Hartman. Won the faceoff dot. You can see we deserved to win, but Gus went negative and goal save up as expected, and Vasi went quite positive. So, tale of two tendies indeed. Now we've got the Panthers game, and Cole basically got this prediction right.
3 second, 2.7 or something.
Yep.
Game winner. Basically an overtime win. We love our overtime wins.
Ek in the dying breath finally scores our third goal. You can see there we had 5.77 expected goals. Janel Tarasov nearly tanked Florida's tank and got them a point or two that could have ruined their draft positioning or lottery odds. But fortunately, Joel Eriksson Ek helped out the Panthers and the Wild with that last second win.
Yeah, you can see here, this was definitely our most dominant game of the entire season. If literally any other goalie was in net, besides maybe Igor Shesterkin, those who know, it would have been like legit like a 10-2 game.
Yeah,
it was crazy. It was nonstop. You can see here 50 shots. I think it wasn't definitely not a franchise record, but it was a season record. I believe.
Yeah.
And I think also season record for shots on goal in one period in both the first and the third. Again, maybe besides that Rangers game, that's just off the dome there. Yeah, score sheet, we had Foligno from Trenton and Petrie, and then Hartman unassisted, and then Ek from Faber off the dot in the dying breath. You can see here the deserve to win meter and the goals saved above expected. Block shots, face off, literally pretty much everything. Just absolute domination. The game stats doesn't show it too much, but we were all over them the entire game.
Yeah.
So great game to watch, except for the fact that we didn't get more goals.
Not so fun game again here with the Bruins. You can see here, once again, expected goals had this being pretty close, almost even. We really did need this win to have a much better chance of pipping Dallas for that home ice advantage, but we didn't get it. It's fine. Spoiler alert. Predictions were way off here. Pretty frustrating third period. Just when you thought we were getting some momentum back, they kept pulling away. Not our best effort. First line looked good with Kaprizov, Zuccarello, and Hartman. Technically the first line, I would say. But besides that, nothing super redeeming otherwise.
Yeah, we were kind of a one-line team this game. And you can see here on the score sheet, it was our top line and our top D pairing. That was everyone on the board there, so I don't know, like you said, kind of a shit game. Really needed it to catch up to Dallas, and I think not winning this game made Dallas more motivated to pull away, which they did. Spoiler again. Relatively close game. Besides, they just kept pulling away, just kept scoring.
Yeah, pretty sure we lost and they won that night, and if that hadn't happened, we would have been ahead of them going into that game against them. We did need to be ahead of them because they had the regulation win tiebreaker. But yeah, this one really like this is what sold our home ice in my opinion. And also Murat Husnudinov, I miss you. And on to the next Canucks game. A real and accurate, fully accurate prediction, that is, haha, by me. We clip farmed against the Canucks. Shout out all of our former Wild players on the Canucks. They looked pretty good. Quinn Hughes looked really good. He had a good night. Kaprizov, all of our guys that we wanted to have a good night had a good night. We got to get some stat padding going in. I think Wallstedt broke the rookie record for wins. I believe Kaprizov and Boldy both hit 40.
Yep, in this same game.
Yeah,
Very
so
fun.
that was nice. Boldy gets 2, Kaprizov got 1 for 40, and Hartman got 2 for 20. I really wanted Boldy or Kaprizov to get that for the Hattie, or for the Hattie for Boldy. I really wanted Boldy to get it because I texted Cole right away saying, "Oh yeah, he's got that in the bag," but he didn't. Vancouver
Almost.
shit on us at the face-off dot looking at this now, but yeah, that was a great game against a team that we needed to beat the shit out of, but we did that.
Yep, good game, good stat padding, 40-goal seasons.
Senators game. This and the next game were both my favorite of this recap year. Personally, there were 2 good wins against 2 good teams fighting for the playoffs. We can see here Hartman. This is when he really started to heat up just in time for the playoffs. I'm loving that. Wallstedt and net really helped out. We definitely deserved to win this game, but Ottawa did put up a good fight in my opinion. No 5-4, but yeah, nice game.
5-4, we'll see in the next game. But yeah, pretty dominant win against a very scrappy team fighting for a playoff spot. I think you said your favorite game of the recap. I'd say this is one of my favorite games of the season, honestly. Just a great game against a team that it's not like we should beat them, but we should beat them, and we dominated them. Again, except in face-off dot and shots on goal. Yeah, Ryan Hartman is cooking. He is not even a 1C on like any other team, as you said, but he is for us, and he is in the playoffs. That's all that matters.
I will support him from this point on. I will support him, but that is still a hill I would die on in the regular season, which it no longer is. But yeah, you can see it's more of a volume thing as far as shots. They did outshoot us, but we deserved when we had the expected goals win. But yeah. Okay, that's supposed to be Hartman on the 3rd goal. Jacob Milton did not net a multi-goal game, but Hartman got
Nor did
2.
he get his 22nd.
Brodin and Middleton with 1. Zuccarello got a few assists. Hughes got on there too. Yeah, nice win. Yeah, as well as this one. This showed resilience. I loved that this was really what tanked Detroit. Honestly, I think that they kind of deserved to sell after the bad stretch they had. This game really fucked it for them. Did we go up? I think we went up early.
I think it was 1-0 or 1-1, and then we went up 4-1, and then they clawed all the way back, and then Kane got he gift wrapped us a power play.
Goal. Yeah, he gave us power play.
Very
Just
fun.
an unnecessary tripping of Quinn Hughes in like the neutral zone. He wasn't in a dangerous position. We get the power play. You know how we are in the power play. Kaprizov gets his 3rd, just a clutch goal. Good hat trick for Kaprizov. That was pretty awesome. But yeah, Detroit, holy shit, they kicked the fuck out of us in the face-off dot. Low event, low shot game, I would say. The expected goals are about 2.5 to 2.5. So the goalies kind of sold. Gus again in net there just to keep with the theme. Boldy scores. Kaprizov again with 3. Tarasenko with 1 of his own. This was nice. This was a nice win. It was nice to see after Detroit come back. We still have that resilience. It's still mostly due to Patrick Kane. But yeah, Detroit. What an organization. Stevie Wise, do you think he's gone?
He's definitely gone. The Yzer plan is not working anymore. And you see here in the 3rd, mentioned on the block shots, and that's a very big number. After we went up 4-1, we kind of bunkered down for the 3rd, which I think a 3-goal lead is definitely fair to do.
Yeah.
But in this situation, and especially like in the playoffs, we shouldn't be doing that because you know, Red Wings are fighting for a playoff spot. At the time, we're fighting for home ice. So I think we should have just kept laying it down, taking all the momentum into the 3rd. But it's all right. We got the regulation win.
Yeah, good take.
Made it honestly more heartbreaking for Wings fans who don't deserve anything. So
that's too far, but the Wings organization doesn't. I guess they're not doing a great job. Kraken game. This was all engine room. You're feeling good. 3 straight wins going into Dallas, maybe 4, but yeah, you're feeling good going into that. We'll talk about that in a second. But yeah, this was the work of the engine room. Ek Johansson and Boldy popped off in our 5-2 win against Seattle. Fuck the Seattle Kraken.
I would like to mention too. It's also our 2nd D pair, Spurgeon and Aberdeen. I feel like I mean, obviously on paper it's the second forward line with the second D pair, but it's usually one of those two groups does good, the other does as well, as we can see here.
There's definitely been a lot of games doing our recaps that I've seen these guys be our real top lines, both on forward core and the D. Like, it might be a 5-man engine room, honestly.
Yeah, I mean, it helps because I would say Ek is our true 1C and Boldy is a top line player.
Yeah.
Because our top line is Boldy, Ek, Kaprizov. 2/3 of those players are on the second line usually. And I'd say Johansson, Zuccarello, they're pretty even, except Zuccarello loves Kaprizov.
I'm taking Zuccarello over JoJo for show.
For sure. But it's not
It's
bad.
not like this huge. Johansson is
It's
a
close.
really good, like, supporting player on a line.
Yeah, he's the perfect middle six winger. And if we were to trade for someone and we didn't have him, it should be him. But Bill Guerin saw Johansson and was like, we need 5 more of him.
Yeah.
Still not over that. We have too many forwards. Anyways.
Here's our score sheet. Boldy from Ek and Johansson. Foligno grabs a goal from Trenyan. Tarasenko gets involved. Johansson scores, and Ek gets the empty netter. You can see the full engine room line assisting on 2 goals, and then obviously Ek with empty netter. Face-offs were even. That was nice. We still blocked a few shots. We deserved to win this game, and we did. It was nice. Moving on. That was a good one. Now we've got Dallas.
That's where it falls apart.
This is unfortunate. We look at this expected goals. I want everybody to look at that. It's 3.5 for us. We got 4, so it wasn't like Andre played terrible. But he did about as expected, you could say, I guess. 1.89 for them, and they scored 5. That is unacceptable. That is like there's questions now for who starts game 1, which we will talk about at a different time. Because of this stretch of performances here from Philip Gus, he fully sold this game. Like that is on him, in my opinion.
Entirely. You can see here, look at all the negative defensive stats, the negative Folignos, whatever. But Gus let in at least 2 goals that were 100% his fault, like you said.
Yeah.
That's the problem because Gus is a goalie that gets hot and then he gets cold very easily. So if he's cold like this, we'll see coming up ahead. If he's cold going into the playoffs, it's going to raise some questions. But
for sure.
More on that later.
Yeah.
Fuck Wyatt Johnston.
Dude,
what a chud.
So annoying. Honestly, I hate Dallas. No shit. I don't want anything for them. But I don't mind Heiskanen. I really like Heiskanen. I like Andres from Minnesota. Not a big Rantanen fan anymore after what he did this game. I do really, really, really like Jason Robertson. I can't stand Wyatt Johnston. He is
Perfect.
The unethical 45 goal scorer. Not a fan at all. You can see, deserve to win a meter. We shit on them.
And he has 28 power play goals too. Which
Of
is
his
insane.
45 total. And Marcus Johansson unironically has more even strength goals than him, I'm pretty sure. Maybe as many. We outshot them. We did beat them at the dot, barely. I just feel like we were the better team and we didn't win. Kaprizov gets 2, both on the power play. Hartman scores on the power play. Hughes from Zuccarello. Great goal by Quinn Hughes.
That was a beauty.
That was a beauty.
And all of our goals too. All of our goals were absolute beauties. Sure, 3 of them were on the power play, but that's because Wyatt Johnston is a prick and a chud, and
he took 2 penalties. I'm pretty sure that led to those. Yeah,
he took the first 2 penalties for the first 2 Kaprizov goals. The better 45 goal scorer in this game.
The better 45 goal power play merchant.
And you can see here, 20 penalty minutes by the Stars, 12 by us. This is going to be a banger series, as everyone in the entire league knows. And one of these teams is going to. One of the cities is going to go up in flames after the series.
For sure.
Hopefully it's Dallas.
Yeah. The American Airlines Center, goodbye. Predators game. They'd already, I should have put this graphic in the Bruins slide pretty much, but this is what confirmed it for Dallas to get home ice. This loss. I think they won that night as well. McCarron did get our goal. This is what, you already have, there's Kaprizov. Okay. But yeah, this is what solidified that we needed to just rest our players and all that, and we did. So nice.
Yeah, and we were already resting here because going into this game we had to win out our last 4 games, and Dallas could not win more than 1 game. So I think Guerin and Hines saw this and were like, okay, it's chill now. We'll play some starters just in case we win. It's we're not risking too much, but if we do win, we can keep playing. But I think Dallas won today anyways, so it was fine. The rest of the season, we're an HL team, and nothing wrong with that. Get to the sick guys, but
probably not gonna spend a ton of time on these next few games here, but there's talking points to be had, you know. Even in shots, we lost the face-off battle, all that. We deserved to win. McCarron got a goal. He's a little shit. Well, he's not little, but yeah, great job, McCarron. No biggie to lose that one. Nashville's worst lottery odds. Awesome. St. Louis, we kicked their ass. That was great. Iowa Wild, or no, we got our ass kicked.
Yeah.
Iowa Wild got outplayed. Good save. Gus in net again, plays bad again. There's some good performances to be had there, though. Nick Foligno scores his first for us. Snella Yurov scores on the power play. He looked great in this game and the next. He was all over the place. He was cooking on the power play in this game. I'm a full glazer. McCarron, again, scores shorthanded. That's pretty cool. St. Louis, with us resting all of our players, they did beat us up in the face-off dot, but that doesn't really matter. Ducks game, season finale, and a feel-good ending to the season. You can see there, Ducks had about 5 expected goals. They only scored 3.
Ducks fall off and needs to be studied. This was full. Like, you can see here, we have Marcus Johansson and Vladimir Tarasenko.
And Danil
Yurov, and then Jonas Brodin. Those are our only 4 players in our top 9 or top 4 defense that were playing this game.
Yeah.
And the Ducks were playing all their starters, and they could not win.
That's bad. They should have won the Pacific the way they were moving. Unfortunately, they couldn't. There wasn't any like super terrible performances. It was just Wallstedt kind of got us this win. Hunter Haight, that is not his current jersey number anymore, obviously, but he scored his first goal for the Wild. He was awesome too in both the games. He and Yurov were just everywhere. And then Robbie Fabry scores his first goal for us, second of the season, just to be clear. Typical goal line there. He did assisted by Nicholas Aube-Kubel and Ben Jones. That's just what you see game 82. But yeah, Anaheim deserved to win this one, and Wallstedt made sure that did not happen. So
yeah,
nice.
Thanks Anaheim for letting us win our home closer 2 years in a row.
Yeah,
helpful.
Appreciate it. It was really clutch last year. All right. Now we've got some standings with the recaps out of the way. We're going to look at the Western teams that are in first. Well, we did this talk already. The West has been kind of set in stone for a little bit here. But here we go.
You can see here, Anaheim did actually win their division in terms of wins. But Ethical Pacific Division, we're not even going to talk about the 20 overtime losses for the Kings.
They did have the least regulation wins, Anaheim, to be fair. But yeah, this is so annoying. And LA, 2022 regulation wins.
Yeah, they won like 3 out of their last 4 in regulation too. So game 78, they were a playoff team with 19 regulation wins, which I don't know, man. This year is just it's 3 divisions and then the Pacific.
Yeah, LA finished 20th in the league standings. That's fun. But we'll focus on good things now. Colorado, great job. You won the President's Trophy, and now you have the curse that goes along with it, I hope. 55 wins, 48 in regulation. That's pretty awesome. Was it you that told me that 3 teams, was it in the Central or the Atlantic, that have more regulation wins than the 4 in the Pacific?
3 in the Atlantic have more. The top 3 in the Atlantic have more regulation wins than the 4 teams in the Pacific.
Okay, yeah. You see, that couldn't be us because the Wild, Loki were overtime win merchants a little bit. Not really. But we also had a good year. Yeah, it was very ethical as well. We had 9 points more than any team in the Pacific. Good job, Vegas, I guess, to clutch that and do what Anaheim couldn't. I can't believe it, man. 2-6-2 down the stretch to sell the division. It was only a 3-point gap. John Tortorella, new coach bounce. Vegas comes in. They got home ice now for at least the first 2 rounds. That's pretty crazy to say. The way they were playing like 2 months ago, they didn't have like a regulation win against a playoff team since like October or November, I believe was the stat. And yeah, here we are.
10-game point streak. They really want to play Utah. They wanted to strip everyone of a banger Ducks and Mammoth series. We all wanted to see that.
We all wanted to see that so bad.
We also wanted to see Vegas play Colorado in the wild card, and we wanted to see Oilers and Kings again. That would have been perfect, but here we are.
I'm taking Edmonton, Vegas, so one of those teams get eliminated, and then LA deserves to get shit on by Colorado. But LA Edmonton would have been pretty funny for the bit, I will say.
Yeah,
Here's the
either
East, like you were saying with the regulation wins. Take a look at that. Buffalo, first in the division. That's super awesome. Love Buffalo right now. Tampa and Montreal being a first round matchup will be great. We'll save that. Carolina first in the conference as expected. Pretty dominant season. And then Pittsburgh and Philly. I have to apologize. I do. I was wrong about Pittsburgh.
He was wrong. He was saying 30 games in, 40, 50, 60, and then once we got to about 60, 70, he finally gave up.
Somewhere in there.
Finally admitted. Sidney Crosby, another point per game season, as we expected. In the playoffs, as we expected. Both of us. Yeah.
Good job,
East is
Pittsburgh.
gonna be banger. Every series.
Yep, Pittsburgh, Philly will be awesome. Just super entertaining. I will still say, like, maybe 2 frauds. Honestly. Like, Philly, I have no idea how... You know what? Both teams are fucking awesome. Frauds, we'll throw that out the window. They both have really exciting and interesting forward cores, I would say. Pittsburgh's is more well-rounded. You've got the center depth. Thank you, 80-year-old Crosby and Malkin. Thank you, Justin Brazeau. Actually, fuck you, Justin Brazeau. And then Philly just got the winger depth. They called up Oliver Bonk. They called up Porter Martone.
Porter Martone's like 1.4 points per game so far.
And just like 0.75 goals per game. Alex Bunk.
He's cooking.
Or Alex Bump. Sorry, too many weird names on the team.
And, yeah.
Bump, Bonk. Great.
B-line.
You have
Triple B.
Noah Cates, Konechny, Zegras. Didn't even mention Owen Tippett. That's just a fun group, man. That's a fun group. I think that I remember they had a series 15 years ago now where they played in the first round as Fleury and Brizgalov in net. Super entertaining then. Neither of those teams were real contenders that year. I see it being the same way this year.
Still fun round 1.
Extremely fun round 1. And then you've got Boston against hello? Brain?
Boston against
Buffalo. That'll be fun. I think that's going to be the nastiest series of the playoffs as far as physicality. Minnesota and Dallas definitely hate each other more than Boston and Buffalo, but just the size in between those teams, like the Wild aren't going to go out of their way to try to like kill anybody. That's not their game. That's not how they're going to win. Same with Dallas. So I think this will be like the nastiest series, the most violent. And then Ottawa, Carolina, those teams are like eerily similar. We'll save it, but those teams are eerily similar. There's a lot of fun playoff series, I think.
More to come, though.
Lots more to come. Here's the full bracket. We'll just take a second. Looks pretty nice. There we go. All right.
At least not in the Pacific. If we just ignore the bottom left, the bracket's perfect.
All right, now we've got award predictions. This is where we really start ramping them. This will be really, really fun. We've got, okay, just to be clear, we have the Hart, we have the Norris, we have the or we're saving the Conn Smythe, right?
Conn Smythe for last, but then we have the Selke, the Vezina, the Calder,
Rocket,
the Selke. I believe that's all of them. We're not doing the.
We have the Jonas Brodin Award.
Jonas Brodin Award
for the best defensive defenseman is how we're titling that one.
No Jack Adams, no
Gregory.
No Gregory, no whatever the best player awarded by the players is.
Art Ross. Art Ross. Wait, Art Ross is scoring leader.
Art Ross is scoring leader, the other one. But yeah, none of those, just like the ones that are focused on players by committees, because we are not players, we cannot vote for the players. We are not coach or GM or anything else, experts, so we're keeping it simple.
Yep. We'll go on to the first slide here. The Rocket, no shit. Nathan McKinnon won that one. Yep, good job. Back. There we go. Yeah, Caulfield right behind him. I would have rather seen him win it as a Wild fan, but honestly, McKinnon deserved it with the start he had. Fair enough.
He fell off, but I think Caulfield getting he had 28 in his last 30 or something. That would have been a fun story.
I mean, fuck.
That's crazy. 0 empty net goals too, unless you count that one goal against Andre.
Yeah, he did have 0. That's right.
Which I count that as an empty net goal.
And
fully out of the paint.
Real quick, how many power play goals did Cole Caulfield have?
Caulfield, off the top of my head, I think he had 15 or 16. Wasn't that? I could be wrong. I could be way wrong. I know it was under 20 though.
It says right here he had 10.
10, yeah.
That's fake. He scored 11. He scored 11.
Yeah.
We're going with that.
Not many.
No, and with the team that he had, the way and the shot that he has, and kind of the just goal scorer, the reputation he has, you would think it would have been double.
Yeah.
It would have been like Wyatt Johnson. He scored fucking 30. But no,
ethical goal scorer. Yeah, just on that Canadians tangent, they probably have the best top six. I'm gonna keep it a buck.
Ooh, that's a fun debate. That's a fun debate. I like that though. I'm a big Canadians fan, obviously.
Yeah.
All right. Oh, do we have? Yep. Okay. Now we've got the Hart Trophy. My top five. Do you want me to go first? Or do you want to go first? Actually,
You go first. Let's hear it out.
Real
this
quick.
one's not too
Yeah, you can. This is a toss up. You just have a solid argument for basically anybody in the top four. Real quick. Hindsight is 2020. I would put Pasta at 5. I was trying to be different with Suzuki. Still kind of valid. He had a 100-point season. Heart and soul of the Canadians team. But I think he's probably like a 8th place type of dude, maybe 7th. But yeah, McDavid is my winner. I think down the stretch with Draisaitl really sealed it. It is a what have you done for me lately type of league and like voting system. And without Draisaitl, he had the 5-point night against San Jose. He got a few more points in that final game to really rack it up. He won the Art Ross. I don't know. I think he deserves it. I think he was way more important to his team than McKinnon was and then Kucherov was. Celebrini, well, if you go with that argument, he's your Hart winner for sure. I see you have him there. But I think when you look at also, I think you do have to factor in a bit of team success. And that's why I've got McDavid at 1. And that's why I have McKinnon at 2 over Celebrini. He didn't, like Caulfield, he really didn't put up that many power play goals or points, but that's more because Colorado's power play kind of sucked, which is more of a coaching issue.
Yeah.
But he had a McKinnon, him cooling off, he was like fucking point per game post-Olympics, I'm pretty sure. That was him cooling off. He was so hot at the start of the season. He still finished top 3 in point scoring. Celebrini at 3. I just value San Jose missing the playoffs really hurt it for me, which is sad and kind of dumb. I'm biased towards Celebrini, but I had to kind of like remove myself from that. I think realistically he's not winning he doesn't have an argument because he missed the playoffs. Kuch at 4, least important of the big 4 in my opinion, on the best team. Great point scorer. I want to see him win another one, honestly, but no. And then, like I said, Pasta over Suzuki at 5 for me. How about you?
Yeah, we were talking about with Kucherov, we were saying he could finish with like 5 Art Rosses, 3 cups, and he wouldn't have any more than 1 MVP because he's Russian. And also he is a little bit of a point merchant. That's
True.
I kind of got with him and McKinnon. If McKinnon was like carrying his team like he was at the start of the season, he would have been higher up, maybe even 2, maybe even 1. But his team is so loaded, the Colorado Avalanche, and he didn't have to do much, and as a result of that, he didn't do much, which is why I don't have him at 1. Pastrnak, just because without him, the Bruins are a lottery team. Gotta throw him in there. Honestly, he could be number 1. Honestly, Bruins getting in there if they win the series against Buffalo somehow. Hindsight's putting him at number 1. But yeah, like you said with McDavid, he did carry the team, especially with Draisaitl and Hyman out for a big stretch of that, and they're still out. Going to be out probably at least part of the first round, I think. And I have Celebrini at 1. This is a bias pick. If the Sharks made the playoffs, I think Celebrini is unanimous Hart winner.
He's definitely winning that shit, man.
But I had to have him in because 116, 115, one of those as a teenager. Sharks franchise record points, not by a teenager, just in general, beating, I think it was Joe Pavelski or Thornton, one of the Joes.
It was Thornton.
Thornton, yeah. Yeah, just an insane season. No help. There's so many stats you can look over. He factored in on the most percentage of points by a team all time as a teenager. He had like 60 more points than anyone else on his team as a teenager. He had 45 goals as a teenager. I don't know, man.
Great argument.
I can't not give, like, his individual success, like team success aside, all those, like, this is stuff only done by Gretzky and Crosby. That's it for all. Like, better than McDavid.
He did outperform McDavid.
I just think it's too insane of a season to not make him my Hart winner, like, bias aside. If I'm fully unbiased, I'm still putting him top 3.
Yep, for sure.
So, yeah.
And then you have McDavid 2, McKinnon 3, Cooch 4, Pasta 5. Anything on those guys?
Not too much. Like you said, yeah, McDavid is lower than Celebrini just because, I don't know. Honestly, it is a little bit of a toss-up, even with the bias. But I feel like there's a little bit of voter fatigue for me putting McDavid as Art Ross and Hart winner. That's the main reason, honestly. But yeah, Celebrini, insane season. Got to throw him in there.
we made our arguments for McDavid and Celebrini. I think you have the arguments for McKinnon and Kucherov too. McKinnon, definitively the best player on definitively the best team, not a power play merchant. Maybe an empty net goal merchant, but that's beside the point. Just a great season all in all. And then Cooch, just the best offensive player in the league. I don't think that's such a crazy thing to say. Like the best producer. And you take it, you can really, if you really wanted to get into it and really wanted to make an argument for you guys, you can make a very strong case for anybody in the top 4 of the Hart. That's an interesting award one. There's McDavid, obviously won the Art Ross. I had McDavid winning it. Cole had Kucherov winning it. It was very close. Taking Kucherov to win it when he did was crazy in January. He had started to heat up a little bit, but it was literally like the first week of January. I think he was like probably 20 points, 25 behind McDavid and McKinnon.
This was before not Four Nations. This is before the Olympics, before he started putting up like 4 points a game.
Yeah.
Type shit.
That was crazy.
But I knew he was gonna heat up.
And he did.
Unfortunately, he cooled off at the very end because the Lightning had nothing to play for once they couldn't beat the Sabres.
Oilers did have something to play for.
McDavid had something to play for.
Yeah, pretty much.
He had to carry the team on his back for that stretch of games.
And now we got the Selke. I'll let you go first for the Selke. Why don't you go first?
Yeah, so we'll start off. Our top 3, honestly, I feel like that's a very standard top 3. I have Suzuki over Marner just because I feel like he contributed more to his team than Marner did, similar to a Hart voting.
Yeah.
I feel like it's a toss-up. Obviously, you have Marner as number 1, so it is pretty close there, I would imagine, considering you have Suzuki, you said, would be 7th or 8th for Hart voting. Aho at 3rd for the same reason, really carried that two-way game of the Hurricanes. He's the main reason the Hurricanes are the best team in the East, arguably the best team in the league, I would say, since the Avalanche have fallen off very slightly since the start of the season, or the first half. And then Justin Sourdif at number 4, he'd crack the top 3 if the Capitals made the playoffs.
Wow. As a rookie.
As a rookie, he's putting up very good two-way numbers, very good defensive player already. He jumped into the league and he's looking like a natural center. He will probably be a first-line center in the next couple of years on that team.
Dang.
Minimum
Right.
top 6.
I'm
calling it now.
Remember the name.
I think that's his ceiling. I think his ceiling is first-line center.
I'm not going to pretend. I won't even try to refute that. I haven't watched Justin Sourdif a lot. But I like that shout. I did do a lot of looking into like defensive numbers. I did like relative expected goals, which does kind of like reward people on bad teams, to be fair. But also just like some 5-on-5 numbers. And I just put Marner over Suzuki. It's just a toss up, really. I think realistically Suzuki wins it. He scored more points. It's usually like a scoring contest for a guy with a good defensive rep, which is Suzuki. Usually centers get prioritized over wingers. Marner spent some time at center, but I think Suzuki will win. First 2 toss up. I really like Marner. I think just has an unbelievable defensive game. He would be a deserving winner, I would argue. Anyone in the top 3 would be for me. Hagel at 4 and Hertl at 5. Hertl had really, really good defensive numbers. A lot of people in Vegas did. I just went with that. And Hagel at 4. Honestly, that's just like reputation. I think Selke does come down to that a lot of the time. Put up great numbers. Good two-way player. Hagel at 4. I don't think that's super. I think that's pretty inoffensive. And then in January, I stuck with my January pick, and so did Cole. And I think that those both aged pretty well.
Pretty clear. Then I had Brandon Hagel at number 5 for the same reason. I just have him below Sourdif because Sourdif Glazer.
It's a beast.
Those who know.
W take.
Yeah, Vezina. Looks like you have
Oops.
the non-playoff Islanders.
I do.
Elias Sorokin at number 1. I can't say anything because of my Celebrini Hart pick. But let's hear him for number 1.
So I'm going value to the team. It's similar to Kucherov. You kind of hurt them for being on good teams, Vasilevsky and Kucherov. But you replace Andrei Vasilevsky with a league average goalie. Tampa still is a wild card team, maybe a 3rd in their division. You replace Ilya Sorokin with the league average goalie, and the Islanders are in the draft lottery again. Like, Horvat was great when he wasn't hurt. Schaefer obviously was fantastic all season, if you guys saw the next slide already. But Sorokin was the most valuable goalie. I believe he had top 3 goal save above expected numbers. Vasilevsky was great. I'm a little voter fatigue on Vasilevsky. Hall of Famer, great goalie, but I'm just a little bit sick of seeing him this high up on everything, honestly. Um, I had, and then, so we have the same top two. You have Scott Wedgwood at 3. I have him at 4. Talk about Scott Wedgwood.
Yeah, so really quick about Vasilevsky,
Oh, yeah.
it is a toss up here between him and Sorokin for me, but because the Islanders did fall off, I can't make him win.
Yeah, fair.
Again, with the Celebrini talk aside, like you said, I think they are still a wildcard team, but the difference between a wildcard team and second in the hardest division, I think, is more than just a wildcard team versus getting in the Pacific Division.
Yeah, fair.
And I think Vasilevsky is still a top 3 player on the Lightning.
Yes.
Some could argue he's the best player. Some Kucherov haters could say that. Now, Wedgwood at 3, I feel like he's going to win the Vezina because he has the best average and save percentage because that's all the voters look at. And he's also on the best team in the league, so obviously those numbers are going to be good. Granted, he is their better goalie very clearly, and I think he is definitely a good goalie still. I don't know if I'd even call him a top 10 goalie right now. Definitely not. Maybe not even this season, but I just have to throw him in there just because of those numbers. I can't make him win, though, because that's just a product of his environment. And then I've Shesterkin at 4 and Dan Vladar at 5 because I think these are 2 goalies that kind of carried their team. Yeah. Shesterkin actually, he carried the Rangers out of the draft lottery, which is not a good thing, but still carried them. And then Vladar, I think, Flyers winger talent aside, which you talked about, I think Vladar was one of the main reasons the Flyers were able to get into the playoffs, get into that 3rd spot to play their rivals in Pittsburgh, and I think that will be a banger series, and I think Vladar will cook there as well.
Darth Vladar, toughest nickname in the show. I didn't have either of those 2, although I did have Shesterkin in January because I was still pining for the Rangers in the playoffs, if you can believe it. I had Wedgwood at 4, and honestly, I'm pretty down on Wedgwood. I believe he will be a finalist, and you can make the argument it's super deserved, but we're gonna play higher or lower. Scott Wedgwood games played. Give me a number.
Ooh, we're gonna say I think it was 45.
Under, just barely. It was 44. Okay. I think voters will see that. That is like barely 1A numbers. Like they basically split starts. I can't have a guy playing 44 fucking games in a full 82 game season winning the Vezina. He did have the second best goal saved above expected per 60. I think he was like 0.01 behind either Swayman or Thompson. So he was really good in the games that he did play. Like, don't get me wrong, he's a great goalie. And but I think everybody on this list, even on like your Shesterkin and Vladar picks, I would say were more integral to their team than Wedgwood was to the Avalanche. The Avs are such a wagon. Like, they're such a sum of their parts thing. Wedgwood and net was great, but fuck, if they had like Blackwood and they had to play him for 60 games with the state of the West, they're probably like 3rd place in the Central pretty comfortably. And that's
they could still win the division,
honestly. And I mean, it would be a fall off from their President's Trophy, but they're still comfortably a playoff team in the West. Whereas all the other picks are very different. Swayman, super underrated season. He was awesome. Same with Logan Thompson. The Caps did miss the playoffs, but holy shit, Logan Thompson was awesome. He's been great for the last like 3 seasons now. What a great goalie. Super underrated in my opinion.
For sure. Yeah, Shesterkin is my missing the playoffs insane goalie pick over Thompson and Swayman too. Those are honorable mentions for sure at 6 and 7. And I think they were very good goalies. But yeah, it just came down to personal preference for me.
For sure.
And then January picks, yeah, Shesterkin and Grubauer. Anyways.
We'll move on. The Calder. Pretty comfortable top 3. I really wanted to put Ivan Demidov at 2 over Beckett Seneca, if you can believe that. But I looked at their numbers. Demidov did spend a lot more time with Slav. He had the way better power play. You had Seneca with his line. It was like the kid line. I think it was him, McTavish, and Gauthier, if I'm remembering correctly.
He was definitely playing with Gauthier for part of the season. The Ducks were moving their entire top 9 around. It felt like pretty much every game. But yeah, and with that too, that means Seneca is getting weird ass lines the whole time. Yeah. Whereas Demidov is playing top 6 minimum every single game. I think most games he was on that first power play unit as well.
He did start on the third line. I will
did
say
start the
that
third.
if he plays the full season in the top 6 on the first power play, he's not playing like 13 minutes a night to start the first 30 games of the season. He probably has 10 more points than Beckett Seneca and is the clear number 2. Maybe as an argument for number 1, but Seneca's a better two-way player already. Kind of people came into the season thinking it was going to be Demidov winning it for sure. I like the Seneca story more. I like for the Calder for me.
Yeah, but Demidov is a Calder winner in other seasons. He is
For
a
sure.
scary ass player. We saw him live. That shit scared me.
My top 5 favorite player.
And then Wallstedt and Dobas, this was a toss up for me. I just have Wallstedt mostly because of bias, mostly because he also had 4 shutouts in his only, I think it was 22, 23 game, no, like 27 games played or something, 30, something like that. Some low amount of games, good amount of shutouts. He's been hot to finish off too. He was hot to start the season, fell off in the middle, but got his game back just in time for the playoffs. That's why I have him at number 4.
I did Dobish over Wallstedt because, again, it's a what have you done for me lately kind of league, I believe, and especially when it comes to award voting. And Dobish down the stretch really helped Montreal get to where they were in the standings. He was fantastic. 17.3 goals saved above expected. That's a pretty nice number to finish the season with there. Montreal, not the best team as far as D-core goes and team defense goes. Dobish is super important, whereas Wallstedt for the Wild, definitely like the 1B there. He was great. He's awesome. His peak was higher than Jakub Dobich's. I think you can make a very strong argument for that. But he did fall off pretty hard between like December and March. I have him at 5. Maybe I'm biased towards the Canadians over the Wild, but I have him at 5.
No, I can respect that. And we both have Wallstedt as our Calder pick going into the January month.
He was just so hot for a 2-month stretch there. You thought maybe he could swipe it away. But Schaefer gets that goal, gets all those goals, and he's got it for sure.
Matthew Calder Schaefer, and then Zach Norris Werenski.
Yep.
Clear number 1, and then it gets weird from there.
Go through your 5 for me here.
So Quinn Hughes is a bias pick. I'm just gonna say it. I think this is a little bit Cole's fantasy of the week. If Quinn Hughes plays 82 games in Minnesota, he is the Norris winner. That's why I have him still up there because I'm seeing that Norris winner peak, and then I see 50 games played with the Wild, and I'm like, oh, this sucks.
Yeah.
But yeah, if he played the 82 games, he's winning it. That's my logic there.
Fair enough.
I had to put Bouchard in. I don't like this. It's the Norris is a fucking point award, and Bouchard's gonna win it because Werenski, the Blue Jackets, does not make the playoffs. It's gonna happen, and I'm gonna kill myself. But yeah, I don't want to talk about Evan Bouchard anymore. Matthew Schaefer, just insane season. Had to throw him in there, and then I had Darren Radish as well for Norris because
a lot of goals.
Yeah, he's been crazy.
Tampa points record for a defenseman.
It's like his second full season, not even full season in the NHL, and he's just cooking. Again, product of the environment on the Lightning, but I think that's a lot harder for a defenseman to do. So yeah,
I would actually argue for Radish that he was a product of his environment. They had no McDonough, no Hedman for the majority of the season. I mean, don't get me wrong, he was really set up on the power play, had a good life, taking bombs from Kucherov and Hagel and point passes, but he really helped the team when they were needing a number 1 defenseman, and he stepped up. Great shout, I think, for Radish and Schaefer. Honestly, they deserve some Norris votes both. But my top 5 is different. Quinn Hughes is not on my top 5. I will start there. I do agree that if he was on the Wild all season, he probably wins the Norris, just the point pace that he put up and the level that he has. And I do think he will finish top 5 based on prior repertoire, but I don't think he deserves to. The reality is he didn't spend the full season in Minnesota, and his first 23 games, I believe, in Vancouver, by 28. His 28, yeah, by his standard, they were shit. I mean, he was sub-point a game. The effort level wasn't there. You look at the defensemen this season, and it's such a high level. I don't know. I'm not going Quinn Hughes in my top 5. I don't think that I will be accurate in my voting, but this is my ballot, not an award. Final award ballot. Werenski at 1. I think he's the clear winner. He could be 5th place in the Hart voting, and I wouldn't be surprised at all. Columbus missing the playoffs really hurts. I don't think that this will make Bouchard win it. I have him at 4. I think he just, again, he has the reputation with all the mistakes he makes. People will look at that and say, never mind, fuck that guy. Hopefully.
I hope so, yeah.
Hopefully. Because he did have 95 points. I think he deserves to be on the ballot. He probably deserves second, but I value defense. That's why I have Rasmus Dahlin at 2. 73 points. Just a Rolls Royce luxury of a two-way defenseman. Fantastic to watch Rasmus Dahlin playing. It is a treat. I'm such a huge Rasmus Dahlin fan. I would have him at 2 on my ballot. Cale Makar at 3. Definitely, you would talk about fucking product of the environment. Holy shit. But he did still put up enough numbers. He was still on the best team. Again, people go, oh, wow, Cale Makar, he's got to be on the Norris ballot somewhere. So I have him at 3. Bouchard at 4 because I hate him. And then Heiskanen at 5 as an unbiased Wild fan because kind of like Dahlin, just Rolls Royce of a two-way guy, great skater, really fun to watch. Didn't put up as many points, so I have him at 5. I think he had somewhere in the low 60s. But deserving regardless. Quinn Hughes probably realistically makes it over him out of all those 5 on the ballot. January picks, I had Makar and you had Lane Hudson.
Yeah, I did like the Lane Hudson pick, except he kind of didn't do enough this season. It's whatever. I still like the pick. I'm still proud of that. Kellen Makar, I didn't have him on my ballot because I just want to mention there he's not on my top 5. Not even in my honorable mentions this year because he's been injured. He's been shit for his standards, and he's on the best Avalanche team probably ever. Product of environment, obviously, to be that good of an environment, everyone needs to contribute something, so he did contribute to that environment, just like everyone else who's good on that team. But I think it really just was a pretty average year for him. Not just for him, just for a defenseman in general, despite that point total. So, I don't know.
If you told someone, an Avalanche fan, just an NHL fan, coming into the season that the Avs were going to be a 120-point President's Trophy winning team, you'd assume that Makar would walk away with the Norris, getting close to 100 points, probably 30 goals again like he did last year. But that's not what happened. And I think that he does not deserve to win the Norris. Jonas Brodin Award for the real defenseman award for the best defensive defenseman.
The defenseman, not the defenseman or the Art Ross for someone who plays the defense position.
Yep. We've got Jake Sanderson both winning that. He is Ottawa's MVP, I think.
Very clearly. If they have no Jake Sanderson, their goalie is like 33rd in the league, goaltending, I mean. They're worse than the AHL Canucks and their NHL equivalents, whatever. The Senators are already so bad in net. And this is like with Sanderson and the rest of their decor. Imagine they don't have that. They have an average decor. The Senators are a lottery team, just straight up.
Yeah. And winner. I have Seider at 2. I felt pretty comfortable having Seider at 2. He, again, talk about a guy carrying his decor. He does have Steve Partner is pretty good too. His name is slipping away from me right now. Simone Edvinsson. Holy shit, good clutch. At 2, on that D unit, but he put up some good numbers. Really, really strong defensive numbers. So I have him at 2. I have Heiskanen at 3. Because, again, I'm prioritizing defense for this award. That's why Dahlin is 5 there, but 2 on the Norris. And then Ekholm at 4. He is Evan Bouchard's defense partner. Like, you couldn't need to be a defensive defenseman anymore. And he's great. I think Matthias Ekholm's great. Evan Bouchard has, like, the perfect situation playing with McDavid and Draisaitl and having a guy like Matthias Ekholm as your partner. So, yeah, that's my top 5.
Yeah, product of the environment there again. I have JJ Moser at number 2.
Good shout.
Like you mentioned with McDonough and Hedman being out a large chunk of the season, I feel like he's had to really step up as that number 1 safety net guy on the Lightning, and I think he's done a great job. Simply put, now I have Dahlin here, now I have Heiskanen, and now I have Seider. I feel like these are 3 very clear Brodin Award, whatever you want to call it, favorites. Besides Sanderson, yep. I feel like the order of this could be changed. Besides Seider, I do have him at 5th just because the Red Wings missed the playoffs. Obviously, kind of contradicting myself with the Werenski voting and the Celebrini voting.
That's all right.
But I feel like Werenski and Celebrini are much more integral to their team than Seider, considering the forward.
For sure.
Not the depth, but the forward power they have, as well as, like you said, his defensive partner. He's not fully carrying his team, so I have Dahlin and Heiskanen higher. I think Dahlin at 3 just because... Like, the Sabres aren't winning their division without him, very clearly.
Yeah.
They're probably still a playoff team, but they're kind of shit without him. their defense is their decors. It's not great, and then Darlene steps in and it's perfect. Like you said, Rolls Royce of defensemen. Heiskanen right below him. Maybe biased, maybe not. But I do have Esther Lindell as my January shout there, so I'm going to say I'm not biased. But yeah, I like this award. I wish this was a real award.
Same. I think they really need to implement it considering how crazy point scoring has got for defensemen. I had Cider as my January pick, and this is unrelated, but I did want to throw this out there real quick. My entire top 5 ballot here of Sanderson, Cider, Heiskanen, not Ekholm, but Sanderson, Cider, Heiskanen, and Dahlin, I would have all 4 of those guys additionally over Quinn Hughes for the Norris voting, personally.
All right.
I promise I don't hate the Wild. I promise I like my team. I tend to be the more pessimistic, or the more negative when we talk about the Wild. The more I try super hard to be unbiased, maybe. But I would honestly, genuinely I think all of those guys have better Norris cases than Quinn Hughes this year.
I do like that. Like I said, mine was a fantasy pick. I've always been a Quinn Hughes Glazer. When he's on the Canucks too, one man army on the Canucks. So I'm glad that mindset's still carried over for me. And I'm sticking with my bias.
That's fair. That's fair. He was a top 1 defenseman in the league when he was on the Wild, which he was for the majority of the season. I don't think it's that crazy. I don't know. I like the other ones too. The defenseman is crazy this year. So yeah, that's gonna be it for our regular season awards. We've got the Conn Smythe coming up in our next playoff episode. You can see our January picks here. We're Matt Boldy and Brandon Bussey. Thank you for watching the recaps. Any last words?
The real video will be coming up shortly.
Yeah.
You guys it'll probably come out on the same day, ideally before the playoffs start. This weekend for sure. But yeah, that's gonna be a banger. Stay tuned.
Peace. See you guys in that video.